Hello, super exciting video because I'm actually out here trying some horses to bring home to the rangers. So every November-ish, we get together and search for some new prospects to train over the winter and then use during the summer, which is some of our busiest months. So I've been selected by the rangers to come out here and find a few horses, and I figured that I would take you guys along with me. So this is going to be a two-part series. This first one I'm trying out 5 horses, and then in the second video I will also be trying out 5 horses. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so this is the first horse. This is Miss Apricot. She is a 9-year-old mare who has basically just been used for farm work and some trail rides. She was mostly in charge of taking care of her owner's littler kids when they were out doing chores and stuff like that. So she's basically been a babysitter for most of her life, but they've recently done a little bit more training on her so that they can sell her, as they just don't really have a ton of use for her at the moment. She's not really doing much, so they decided that it wasn't really fair to her to just keep her for doing nothing. So yeah, they decided that they were going to sell her. They were really, really lovely and let me tack her up and all that stuff, but I didn't record any of that process, but she was really good for it. So started off by walking around and then decided to take her over a few walk poles as well. And one of my favorite things to do, especially when we're looking for ranger horses, we want them to be quite sure-footed. So I actually decided to back her up over these poles and she took it in stride perfectly. I was so pleased with her. So then we moved on to the trot. She was a little bit choppy in the trot, not because she wasn't unbalanced, but I think it was just a little bit bouncy. But other than that, she was super responsive. She responded to all my aids. She would halt when I needed her to, go when I needed her to, and just overall kept a really steady pace. She was also very, very good at picking up her feet to go over these trot poles and all that stuff, even in the trot. As you can see here, I just started switching directions, doing a few fun things, just sort of gauging what kind of a horse I had underneath me. And then we went into the canter, and she was super good in the canter, just really, really balanced and really, really not like trying to sort of pull on me or slow down. It was just really, really easy, I guess, to canter her, which was lovely. Her canter was a little bit smoother than her trot, but not the smoothest canter I've ever felt. I then also asked her to move forward in the canter, and she was very willing to do that for me, which is always a good sign. And then I asked her to go for basically a little gallop down the long sides and just sort of like gauging how much speed she had. And then I asked her to do a hard stop, which is definitely something that the ranger horses do need to know. So as you will see in this clip, I asked her for it and she did it perfectly. She really, really tucked her butt and I almost like fell off. But other than that, she was really, really good about it. She like responded really fast, which I was not expecting. So yeah, I was really, really pleased with her. Other than having a few sort of choppy gaits, she was super responsive and just overall she was just a pleasure to ride. So I was really, really pleased with that. It's always really nice when the first horse that you try goes right. Next, this is Bramble. He is a 11-year-old stallion. So he used to do some working equitation and stuff, and I was told that he can be a little bit more pushy than Apricot, but he was pretty well-mannered for a stallion and had a lot of talent. So I was excited to give him a ride, but as you can see, I'd put on my sweater because it started to get windy, and apparently we discovered he did not like the wind. So I've left in these clips in full so that you can just sort of see what I was like dealing with at this moment in time. He was really, really not pleased about it, and I was sort of just trying to ride him through it, but he was really, really, really not a fan that it had kind of gotten chillier and windier, and that's just not really great quality to have in a ranger horse. And even though I was sort of able to get him moving forward, it kept on happening. Like, it would happen over and over and over again, and it kind of just got to the point where there was no point in riding him, because if he was going to be this sensitive about like a change in the weather, then he was really not going to make a very good horse to be out in the woods all the time. It can get windy, rainy, it can even blizzard, and if he was going to act like that because of the wind, then he just really wasn't a fit for what we were looking for. It was definitely a shame because he was a really nice horse. So yeah, I checked his tack and all that stuff, but it was definitely the wind. And I chatted to the owners, and they said that that was sort of a quirk that he had, that he was not very good when the weather changed. So I'm sure he will make an amazing horse for someone else, but just not really what we were looking for. Okay, so I've just finished trying out horses at Paddock Island, and the first one was lovely. I really liked her. I loved her personality. She was a little bit choppy in the gaits, which is not ideal, but she was just so responsive and so well behaved. I was really happy with her. And then Bramble was a little bit of a different story. He was really comfy, but he definitely did not like the change in weather. And considering that ranger horses have to, deal with the changes in weather a lot, I just didn't think that he would really be a very good fit for us. So passed up on that. Now tomorrow I'm going to be heading off to Morland and Marley's farm, I think, to try a few horses, so I'll see you then. Okay, this is day 2 and we are in Morland, and we are trying out this sweet little Icelandic mare named Oreo. She's 7 years old and she has basically been a pasture pet. They ended up bringing her in and basically schooling her so that they could sell her. She's only had about a year under saddle, and she's basically just done Western stuff. And yeah, I was super excited to try her out. I love the Icelandic horses that we currently have with the Jorvik Rangers, like Fudge, and then we also have Cookie, and yeah, it was just, I was really excited to try her out. She was really lovely at the walk, very responsive, and then same in the trot. She was a little bit bouncy in the trot. I find that most of the Icelandic horses are a little bit. I think that it's just more natural for them to go in their gait, so their trot is a bit choppy, but she was so responsive and so sweet. Like, you would have never ever known that this horse had only been under saddle for a little bit. She was just amazing. Next, I started doing a few transitions, such as halting her and asking her to back up, since I really just wanted to gauge what she knew and how well she would respond to things. And then I decided to kind of do a few weird patterns, like I started asking her to do odd turns, move off my leg, and all of that stuff, and she was really responsive. She was definitely a little bit confused, I think, but eventually we got it. And we picked up the canter, and her canter was dreamy. It was so nice. I was so happy. Like, I literally could have just sat there and cantered her for hours. I then tried a tighter circle at the canter, and she responded really well. I definitely did have to keep my leg on. She didn't have a ton of muscle in the canter, but that's not really a problem. That's something that's pretty easy to work on. Next, as you can see, I started trying the hard stops, which is a command that we teach all the ranger horses, and she was pretty responsive to it. She definitely knew how to do it. She kind of threw her body a little bit, which would have to be something that we would have to work on, but she had such a nice personality that I could definitely tell that working with this horse was going to be a treat. So yeah, I really enjoyed my ride on her. Next up, in the same day, we headed off to Marley's to try a thoroughbred, which is not a horse you would think you would be trying if you were looking for a hardy trail horse. But the owners told me that she was lovely and did a lot of Western, so I decided that I may as well go try her. So as you saw in one of the previous clips, she did kind of run off when I got on her, but then she did settle in and we walked around for a little bit. Eventually we picked up the trot, and this is where we had a few problems. She just stopped and she wouldn't really go forward. Like in this clip I am asking her to go forward, and then she just decided to back up. I was not really a fan of this. She was basically just getting nappy. Like, she didn't want to go forward, she didn't want to do the work, and yeah, eventually I was able to get her to trot forward, and then we had this whole shenanigan. So I've left the clip in as a fold just to sort of show you guys what we were dealing with. And I was told by her owners that once you get her going, she's lovely, but this is just sort of a habit that she's developed in this arena. So I ended up asking them if we could move to the other one, which she was more comfortable in, and they said that that was completely fine. So I decided to bring her into that arena and just see if that changed her attitude towards things. And it definitely did. She now wanted to go too forward, and I started fearing for my life because I was now on a bolting thoroughbred and she was not stopping. It was not fun. I was basically just trying to circle her, but she was so strong that she did not want to slow down for me. Eventually I was able to get her to sort of slow down, and then she hit the brakes like that. I almost flew. So yeah, stopped that, got off of her, and brought her back into the barn because that was not a horse that we were interested in. Next up is this beautiful quarter horse named Wally. So I was told on his ad that he was 10 years old, and when I got there I checked his teeth while I was tacking him up, and they definitely did not look like the teeth for a 10-year-old. So I then asked his owners, and they actually let off that he was actually 19 years old, which is definitely a bit too old for what I was looking for, but I figured that I'd come all this way, so I may as well give him a try. Oh, also I forgot to mention that this is the third day of trying horses, so that's why my outfit has changed a little bit. He was so nice and so responsive, just a really polite gelding. Like, I could definitely see why they lied, because he was such a lovely horse that I'm fairly sure anyone who just came and sort of gave him a try would have a hard time saying no, and I do sort of understand that, but it was just a little bit odd, I guess, because I'm fairly sure that there were a lot of people out there who would have loved to have a horse at his age. So it was just a little bit odd, I guess, that they lied about that. But he was so amazing, like, just so lovely. Like, honestly, probably the best horse, like the best fitting horse that I tried over these 3 days. Like, he was just perfect, exactly what we were looking for, but it just wouldn't really be fair to him to be doing that to him and force him to do all of that work and stuff. Like, the rangers were pretty busy, and we asked the horses to do quite a bit, so it's just not really fair to a horse at his age to do it. So I am going to be talking to the rangers about another possible plan for bringing him home to work with the interns and do some training with them, but I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go. But he was definitely just a little bit too old for what we were looking for at the moment. So alright, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. So we've had a few eventful rides, but we've also had some amazing ones, and I'm actually about to go try a few more horses today. I have 2 more horses that I'm trying today, so those will be in the next video since I wanted to make it 2 even parts. So yeah, I love trying horses, even though sometimes it goes a little bit awry. I just really enjoy these videos, so stay tuned for part 2, where we will see which horses we ended up bringing home and also try 5 more. So yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye.